What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. A question I often get is which games I play when I'm tired of Outriders, when I'm not grinding Outriders. And the answer is always that I try to find, if I'm not playing some other kind of AAA or any release like that, like we all do, I do try to find these small little indie games that I actually enjoy trying out as well. And some of them are real gems and actually give me hours of enjoyment, and some of them are kind of like not, and you kind of go like, yeah, you know what, it is what it is, and you move on to the next one. Now, today's game is actually one in the first category, and this is something that I've actually enjoyed quite a lot. Those of you that are fans of the channel and often visit the live streams will know that I kind of have a soft spot in my heart for roguelites and games that essentially, have you repeating the same activity over and over, but with additional loot and, building up your character over time. So stuff that used to be really, really difficult for you is now a lot easier. Now, enter Tombstar, which is a game kind of like Enter the Gungeon. So if you're familiar with that genre, the idea is that you choose a character, there's a class, and this game has several different classes, 3 to be exact. They have different starting weapons, different ways of dodging, different abilities or something like that. And then essentially you play this kind of like dungeon that has different layouts, procedurally generated layouts with different enemies within those, so no one run is the same as the other. And the idea is that you move from room to room, you kill those enemies in there for a chance at some loot, additional HP, a different gun or anything like that. Now, what you also do is, of course, you move from room to room, and some of these rooms will have additional traits that you can unlock for your character. They can have chests that you have to open up with keys so that you get a new weapon. And then eventually you will come upon a boss room, which will have one of the many different bosses available in the game for you to fight against. And once you kill that boss, you get a whole bunch of loot from that, and you move on to the second area. Now, the progression in this game comes from the fact that when you actually kill those bosses, they give you a currency that you can use to unlock permanent upgrades for your character, which in subsequent runs will actually make you a little bit sturdier, deal a little bit more damage, and just in general have an easier time, which means you can progress deeper and further. So this is absolutely, the kind of mini game sort of centric kind of thing that I enjoy about this genre. And I had many hours on Enter the Gungeon, and I'm well up to almost the same amount of hours in Tombstar. Now, this game is available on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One as well as PC. I bought it on Steam, and it actually came at a fairly low price. I think converting it, I think we're talking about 10 US, maybe 12 US or something like that. And I absolutely urge you to try this out. Remember that you can play it at least on Steam. You can play it for 2 hours, and if it's not your cup of tea, if you don't enjoy it, then you can always return it and get your money back. Now, when it comes to the aesthetic of the game, I really do like it. It's this kind of like space cowboy kind of thing. Those of you who remember a cartoon from, I guess it's the late 80s, it might have been early 90s. I've long since forgotten my childhood, but Brave Star. Brave Star, which was essentially this sheriff with a horse. And while this doesn't have a horse, it definitely has that Brave Star aesthetic. You have lots of different enemies that you can fight. The guns kind of sound like you're shooting 6-shooters or anything like that. And definitely the weapons that are in the game are like a combination of futuristic laser kind of, laser shotgun, and stuff like that. So absolutely cool. Sometimes you can find random shortcuts that'll actually give you a portal and shoot you 2 or 3 levels ahead, which of course will really ramp up the difficulty, but actually give you a whole bunch of new rewards. Because one other thing that I kind of like didn't mention but should be apparent if you compare this game to something like Enter the Gungeon is the fact that you have to be able to get a specific weapon to drop, or a specific upgrade to your character, or a power or anything like that. It has to actually drop once first, so you unlock it, and then once that is unlocked, then you can see it kind of like show up more regularly. Now, there's also a leveling system in the game that runs in parallel, which will also actually unlock additional things along the way. Like, for instance, when you start the game out, you only have access to one of the 3 classes, and by getting a bunch of levels in, you actually unlock class 2 and class 3, and then eventually you can pick all of them when you start your run. Let me know in the comments down below if you enjoyed this genre of game, if you've given this a try, and what your opinions are of it. Maybe you could even suggest some similar games to this that I might not have tried out out yet, which I'd love to give a go. Thank you so much for watching. Short little video today. I'm thinking of doing this now regularly on a Monday and just have it be like a game that I've been having fun with that's not Outriders, that's not some big AAA release or something like that, which you would have known about in any case, and just highlighting that to the channel to show you some of the stuff which I play off-brand or off, you know, like when I'm not playing one of those other games. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I said that already, but I really do appreciate it. And it's just super important to me that you have a fantastic morning, afternoon, and evening wherever you are in the world. And until next video, fucking cheers.
They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me.